Tell me why the author's note to Wild and Wrangled just made me cry. We're off to a great start. Oh my god. Hello, good morning. We are back in the office. I haven't done a vlog update in the office in a while. I'm actually in a very good mood today because I am reading Wild and Wrangled, and the author's note already made me cry. It already made me cry. I already was really into it the first chapter. I'm so excited about this book, and I'm also excited because today is the start of a 48-hour readathon over on my Patreon, and I really want to get in some good reading. I do, however, have quite a lot to do this weekend because while the moving portion of my life is over, I still need to clean the house and make sure that everything is good and then drop off the keys. So tomorrow is our very last day at the house. I actually went over there yesterday. I met Jared over there yesterday and he was patching up holes and like painting, and then I deep cleaned the kitchen, bathrooms, and like other areas that kind of needed it, like the fridge. I'm mainly gonna be wiping down surfaces, making sure everything's clean, and then mopping the entire house. And that's pretty much it. The end of an era. Very sad. Actually, it's very sad for me, but I'm trying to stay positive. I'm feeling good today. This is the best I've felt in a while. So I'm trying to keep up that energy. So the readathon this weekend is part of my cozy-a-thon that I do like a couple times a year on Patreon because I really like cozy readathons that have low stakes. And this one is a spring fling edition, so there is a bingo board, and I will be trying to knock off things on this bingo board, and I will be trying to read this. I don't know what's on this when I put it up. I'm gonna put it up for you so that you'll see what we're going to be reading in this video, but it's going to be a surprise for me. I know Wild and Wrangled is obviously one of them because I've started it and that is what my main focus is going to be, but I don't know what else I'm going to read for this readathon. I got my Kobo yesterday. I already love it. I love the way that it feels, looks. I like the buttons. Everything is great with it. I love that the library is integrated into it. I'm just really enjoying it so far. I've been exploring it. I've been reading a lot of samples of books and placing things on hold. I have yet to buy an ebook. I'm curious to see how much I will miss Kindle Unlimited, which I kind of am already feeling it a little bit, only because a lot of the books that I've been wanting to read recently are on Kindle Unlimited, and obviously the Kobo doesn't have access to that. I'm obviously like trying to get away from Amazon as much as I can, but there are some indie authors that I still really want to support. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi and let you know that I've already cried at Wild and Wrangled, which is a great sign. You know, I have a feeling that I'm really gonna love this one. I haven't really disliked any of the Rebel Blue Ranch series, to be honest with you. I've liked every single one. I feel like every single one has gotten better for me because Swift and Saddled was my favorite, and then Lost and Lassoed came out, and I really love Lost and Lassoed. I go back and forth between which one is my favorite between Swift and Saddled and Lost and Lassoed. So hopefully Wild and Wrangled is up there as a favorite as well. Hi, I'm sitting here awkwardly because my child has taken over my chair. I'm finally home from a very, very long week. This week has been weird. It started off weird. It's just continued to be weird. And I'm glad that it's over, and I hope next week is better. We got through it. It's over. We're spending the weekend reading. We're also finally gonna have a day off that like I don't have to worry about moving, unpacking, packing, cleaning. I don't have to worry about any of that. I'm very, very excited to just relax, and I think I'm finally gonna play a video game. And I also have plans on my day off to like treat myself, so I'm gonna get like a sweet treat and I'm gonna get a drink. I might even go to the coffee shop and read something. First and foremost, I need to finally figure out what I'm going to get on my Kobo. Like I really want to buy or borrow one ebook to read on my Kobo. But I think because I'm on sprints right now with my patrons, and Jenny has been talking about Don't Let the Forest In, and she's really liking it. I know Tori really liked it, and the way that they've been talking about it, I'm really thinking that's what I'm leaning towards. So I have that one. That's a contender. I have Bat Eater and Other Names for Cora Zhang on here as a contender. And then I have The Ledge by Stacey McEwen ruin. I haven't seen any of my friends or any of my patrons review this book in particular, but I follow this author and she is hilarious. She is hilarious. And I need to look up reviews, but I also don't want to look up reviews because I don't want to go in with any expectations. But I really want to read Ledge. However, I have been reading Wild and Wrangled and I am already 50% into it. I only have like 2 hours and 15 minutes left of the audiobook. I'm really enjoying this one. I will say though, I always go into the Rebel Blue Ranch series without knowing the tropes of any of the books because I go into it for the characters, right? I really love all of these characters. I'm constantly anticipating the stories of the characters that we've met throughout this series. And so I just really like Cam and I really wanted to know her story. We know her relationship to Gus, like they have a child together, but they're still like besties and they're really great co-parents and there's no like animosity between them. And I just really love them as a dynamic. And so obviously I've been anticipating Cam's story. The thing is, this is a second chance romance. And while I'm not saying that that's like throwing me off because I have liked second chance romance before, I do feel that the narrative feels a little bit off because of when we choose to do like flashbacks of them like meeting each other for the first time and kind of falling for each other. I feel that the flashbacks are a little weirdly placed at times or feel jarring at times. Sometimes they're really good and other times it feels very jarring. Otherwise, I really like Dusty. Like, talk about an acts of service type of man. I love an acts of service type of man. I love Dusty for the man that he is. I also love a fictional man pining after a woman so hard. Fictional men. Like, he desperately loves Cam. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Page 1, you already knew. So I am looking forward to seeing how this plays out because I had similar feelings, I guess, for Lost and Lassoed, where it wasn't sucking me in the way that the other two books did immediately. Like, I love the writing. It's very easy to get sucked into these stories, but I guess more so I wasn't like loving certain aspects about either of these books and they didn't feel like they were going to be favorites. And then I ended up giving Lost and Lassoed 5 stars because the book is just so close to my heart and I really love Teddy, and I ended up loving Teddy and Gus more than I thought that I would. And so I'm hoping the same thing happens in this book because I'm liking it, not loving it, but I don't think I could hate any of the books in this series. I don't think that's possible. I love the reflection of the shelves because it looks like I have so many shelves in here. I can't believe it. We are finally done with the entire moving process. Like, there are still so many things to unpack and organize in this house, but like, we turned in the keys, the house is clean, all of our stuff is out of there, all of our stuff is here and where it needs to be, and it's over. So I didn't really get to talk to you too much today because that's really what we've been dealing with. And then I started sprints. We did start sprints at 3. Tori joined me. We've been yapping so much. We are finally into our second sprint, even though we've been live for like 3 hours. This is what happens when I haven't sprinted in a while because life gets like chaotic. I just talk way too much on sprints. However, I did finish Wild and Wrangled. And I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed. Not my favorite of the series. I would say if I had to rank them currently, Wild and Wrangled might be my least favorite, but Done and Dusted is actually quite forgettable for me. So I think my heart is telling me Swift and Saddled is number 1, Lost and Lassoed number 2, Wild and Wrangled, and then Done and Dusted. But I feel like Done and Dusted and Wild and Wrangled are almost like this. And that's pretty disappointing to me because I was really looking forward to Cam's story and I liked it. But I really think the second chance romance of it all is what didn't work. I think ultimately there wasn't enough tension, there wasn't enough yearning. They were in love. Like, the tension and the conflict that did exist in this book just didn't really feel compelling enough, and at points it kind of frustrated me. Like, when we found out why they end up splitting apart to begin with and why this is the second chance romance, I didn't really care. I was like, yeah, okay, that happens. And then the third act breakup made me roll my eyes, and it actually made me very frustrated with Cam as a character because I was like, what are we getting angry about? It almost felt like there shouldn't have been a third act breakup, especially with the second chance romance situation happening and us finding out why they broke up in the first place. And I think there were too many plot elements happening in this book. We had flashbacks to the past. We had the current timeline with them like reconnecting. We had to figure out the conflict of why they broke up. And then we have this conflict that's existing in their current life. And I don't think any of those things were fully done well enough for me to love this book. So ultimately I was just left a little bit disappointed. However, that's not to say that this is like a 2-star, 1-star read. I don't hate any of the books in this series. I've loved everything that I've read in this series. Even with Done and Dusted being fairly forgettable for me, I still really love the characters and I love seeing those characters in the rest of the story. And I really like the dynamics between all of these characters. That's probably my favorite part in this book, is just like all of the character dynamics, seeing the other couples, seeing how their lives are progressing and also how they interact with Cam. I just really loved that part. So again, while I was disappointed in the romantic elements of this book, I do think there were a lot of really strong moments between characters, and like seeing these dynamics I think was really important to understanding why Cam is so loved. In the meantime, I did put stickers on my Kobo. I don't like this. I don't love what I did here. There are some things that I love, but I don't ultimately love this. And I realized that I took all of my really fun stickers to work because I made like a little sticker wall at my desk. And I think I'm gonna steal back some of those stickers that I really love and use them on here because these are not all my favorite stickers. Anyway, this means that I need to start a new book for the readathon. But before I do that, let's actually see what I've accomplished on the bingo board. Who's Penelope? She's my wife. Can I tell you that Epic, the concept musical album, has me in a chokehold? A chokehold. I randomly heard the Calypso song on Instagram and I was like, what is this? This is so fun. I fell down a rabbit hole and I'm listening to the album all the time and watching like the little animations that people have made to the concept album, and literally I'll be laying in bed. I'll be laying in bed like singing the song or watching one of them and Jared's like, are you watching that Epic the musical again? Okay, so I have definitely done a couple things. I did a treat yourself moment. Not only did I treat Jared and I to lunch, I also got 2 ebooks last night, finally. I think I told y'all I had been struggling to figure out which ebooks that I really wanted to buy, and I finally decided on Don't Let the Forest In and The Raven Scholar. I actually have the audiobook for The Raven Scholar because it was one of the Libro FM influencer / librarian picks. I got a fun drink and I got a fun snack, so I did get a bingo already. I did read what that I arguably would call spring colors on the cover on Wild and Wrangled, because pink very much screams spring to me. Arguably, I also did a craft because I put the stickers on my Kobo, and I have also checked off the snacky snack bingo because I've been snacking on these True Fruits all day. This is my second bag. I first was eating the raspberry ones, and then I cracked open the strawberry ones. I think between the two bags, I have eaten probably a whole bag. So I only need to do 2 more things in order to black out this bingo board, which I need to go on a walk or something tomorrow. And I will be starting a book that's a new to me author, because any book that I choose that's on my immediate TBR for this readathon is a new to me author. Okay, I'm reading Bonded by Thorns, and I'm 4 or 5 chapters in. This is a rough start for me, but I'm interested enough to keep going. But it's rough. It's rough right now. I don't know if I like this writing. I'm reading Bonded by Thorns. I needed something fun and silly, and everything that I've read about this first book, especially in the series, I don't know about the rest of them, but the first one is literally a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but with Fae, and she didn't really reinvent the wheel. And I just needed something like that. So I listened to a sample of Nectar of the Wicked. I listened to a sample of Bonded by Thorns. I listened to a sample of, what was the other one that I listened to a sample of? They felt darker than what I was looking for. Nectar of the Wickeds especially was super dark. And I also listened to a sample of House of Blight, and both House of Blight and Nectar of the Wickeds just too dark for me at this point in time. I needed something fun, a little bit fast paced, and then I tried the sample of Bonded by Thorns, which I didn't think would work for me because I'm not necessarily like a retellings person. I don't necessarily go into books because they're retellings. I just go into books because I'm interested in what's gonna happen. Like I said, this is literally a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It follows Beauty and the Beast, the beginning, beat by beat. Like her father goes missing, she goes to find her father, she trades places with her father as a prisoner, and obviously she's gonna fall for the Fae King, but I think she's also going to fall for 3 other Fae Kings. I know this is a why choose. Also, this is the first time our main character is truly coming face to face with the Fae. Her father has spun stories her entire life that the Fae exist because he believes that his wife / our main character's mother went missing because of the Fae, and that she's in the Fae realm, and he has kind of spent his life spinning these stories and also trying to figure out how to find his wife. So up until this very moment, she has never come face to face with a Fae, but she is a believer, because the only way that you can enter into the Fae world is if you believe in some capacity. Like, you have to actually have some sort of belief or faith that the Fae are real in order to enter into the realm. Otherwise, it stays hidden to you. So she's clearly had some sort of belief, and I think that also ties into her just being a very bookish character. The one thing that's actually been very surprising and kind of funny is how many pop culture references are in here. Again, this goes back to our main character being very bookish, so she references a lot of different book characters or book worlds, and that kind of threw me off a little bit, but is also kind of funny. So while I'm aware she's coming from the 21st century, it just feels a little bit off when she's like making a Chronicles of Narnia reference, and they're in this Fae world that doesn't even have like cell phones or the same type of books. It's a weird time, but I can't stop reading it. So I can't lie, this is not the best written thing I've ever read in my life, but am I having fun? Yes. Is that what I needed? Yes. So at this point, I'm 24 chapters in, and there are 59 chapters. So I'm probably like about halfway into this book, and it does say that I have just about 4 hours left in the audiobook, and I feel that I could finish it today. I do. I think I could finish it today. I have a few projects that I want to do today. I need to put away all of my remaining clothes. I need to clean up this office and like organize the closet because it's a mess. We brought over all of the cleaning supplies from cleaning the house this weekend, and I just need to like organize the closet. I also think we're gonna go to the Container Store and get a few things for under the bathroom sink and the kitchen sink so that we can like organize in that way as well. I think first and foremost though, we need to get a matcha. I finished Bonded by Thorns. That was deeply unserious. But also, I had a really fun time, and I will be reading book 2. I surely will be reading book 2 because I'm very interested in a specific character that I think we're following very closely in book 2. This is basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling, almost beat for beat, except for like reverse harem. Rosalina as the prisoner, she is trying to find them a mate to break a curse, and she's just very attracted to them. So it's quite a spicy time. Like we see quite a few sex scenes, not necessarily with the main character being involved, but there are quite a few spicy scenes that happen in this book pretty early on. The men are instantly attracted to her. There's a lot of talk of her being very, very beautiful, very attractive. And the writing can be really cheesy, I won't lie. That's why I'm saying it was deeply unserious. Some of the sex scenes were actually making me laugh out loud. It was so unserious, but I was having fun. I don't actually know if I'm a reverse harem girly. I don't gravitate towards books like that, but this one I was just so curious. My curiosity got the better of me. And I would say the reverse harem isn't like super explicit in this book. I know it's supposed to get spicier and spicier with each book. We'll see if I make it further into the series, but I have heard that the writing gets better and that the plot line gets better because currently there's not really an existing plot other than it's Beauty and the Beast and she's trying to help them break a curse. The one thing in here though that did bother me is the discussion of her current boyfriend, who is basically supposed to be the Gaston character. There are many instances when she reflects back on the relationship and it's very much sexual assault. Like the way that she talks about it, it's very much in a nature of assault and abuse. But that's definitely on me, I think, because I didn't read the trigger warning. So it's very likely that there is a trigger warning for that explicitly talks about the way she talks about her ex. And that just threw me off a little bit, the way she talks about her situationship. They're like supposed to be engaged, but she didn't actually say yes to him, and clearly like they shouldn't be together. I don't know that I fully recommend this because I could see a lot of people really disliking it, but if you're intrigued and you like reverse harem and you like Beauty and the Beast retellings, I would give it a shot. This does definitely feel like that fairy tale-esque vibe that often is missing from retellings, I would say. This definitely has like that fairy tale vibe to it. So if you like things like that as well, maybe give it a shot. Also, I have finally finished the second episode of The Last of Us. I have been putting it off. I have been putting it off because I found out what the second episode was supposed to be about. I have played the games, so I know the entire storyline, although they are adding a few new things to the second season, which I'm really excited about. And I think that it's gonna make the season even more interesting. So I'm appreciative of what they're adding in, to be honest. And like, I didn't need it to be the most faithful adaptation to the games anyway. Man, I hate this show. I hate the show. I hate the video game. These creators, these writers, these producers, they have never had a happy day in their lives. They only have hate in their heart. They only have hate in their hearts. In reality, the show is brilliant. It's so well acted. I'm devastated every time I watch an episode. I had to stop my rewatch because I'm mentally not there. This is definitely my favorite new show to come out in a while, and I love it, but there's nothing happy about anything within the show, first or second season. No, there are happy pockets. There's little pockets of happy moments, but like for the most part, it's just sad. So yeah, anyway, if you're keeping up with The Last of Us without spoilers, how are you doing? How's it going, friends? Anyway, it's Tuesday. The weekend is officially over for me. Readathon is over. I actually got into books, which I didn't expect, and I had a good time this weekend. I had a really fun time. Doing sprints was so fun. We chatted more than we read, so I'm actually very surprised that I got 2 books in general, because we talked a lot. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you had a good weekend, and thanks so much for hanging out with me, friends. Bye.